everyone, welcome to Bebop Mondays episode 2, the show in which I teach you some cool bebop licks for you to woodshed, practice all week. And I already made one episode before, episode 1, it's linked in the description, so also check that video out if you haven't. And there's a little competition attached to this episode. If you watched the thumbnail and were surprised, didn't know what it meant, so here's a little quiz. Why is the thumbnail the way it is? I bet some of you already know, but you could research it and see why I chose that particular lineup of characters in the thumbnail. So we're gonna explore some new phrases, and I chose a theme for this episode, and I will explain after this intro. The theme for this episode is to explore what you can play on a flat 7th dominant chord resolving to a 1 chord. And that just means that, let's say we're in the key of C, that you have B flat 7 in that tune resolving to C. So let's say we're in the key of C, right? And then we have B flat 7 and we resolve it to C. Yeah. There's many different names for it, but it happens in a lot of jazz standards like There Will Never Be Another You, Stellar by Starlight, It Could Happen to You. And mostly it's one bar of that B flat 7, but there's a couple of tunes where it's less for more bars. So Stellar by Starlight is one, but a very famous one also is Cherokee, which is in B flat. So then you have A flat 7, 2 bars, 2 B flat, right? So I want to see what you can play on that A flat 7, resolving to B flat. Now, theoretically, there's lots of easy ways to solve it. One way is to think that the tritone substitute for A flat 7, which would be D7, and you would play D7 altered, resolving to G minor, right? And G minor is a substitute for B flat. So then you get a very easy, but you probably played that more often, a dominant, altered dominant to a resolving to a minor chord. So D7 to G minor, and that fits perfectly over A flat 7 to B flat. Or you could think E flat minor resolving to B flat. That's also probably something you did before. But here I chose some things that I think are very typical A flat 7 sound to B flat. So let's see what I have. There's 5 licks. I'm not going to go in order because the first lick is pretty tough to play and I need to warm up too. So let's start with this one. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Resolve to B flat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Let me play that on Cherokee. It's a backing track I just uploaded. Now, for Cherokee, it's pretty moderate tempo, but it's still 250 BPM. So I'm not even sure I can pull it off, but let's try and do it. So A flat 7 is the 4th chord. And before I'll just play some solo. And you can play it like it's written here, or you could just actually start on beat 2. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4. Also works. You don't have to play it exactly at this time. Very cool lick. Now let me tell you a little secret about these licks. They work great on A flat 7 to B flat. But one of the things to know about these kinds of progressions, and I've said it before, is that it is actually a substitute for a 2-5-1, because A flat 7 is the same as E flat minor, right? E flat minor 6, And E flat minor 6 is a sound that when you play it on F7, you get a sus flat 9 sound, but it's an altered sound. But you have C minor, and then you play E flat minor, and you resolve to B flat. Right, so you could actually just play this on a 2-5-1 in B flat and create this altered sound. And it works the other way too. You could actually play an F7 altered on top of this A flat. We're not going to explore that, but just remember that you can play all these licks on a regular 2-5-1. And at the end of the episode, I will place one or two of them on like a normal jazz standard, on a normal 2-5-1, and you can actually hear that it works really well. But let's go to the next one. Let's go to the one right above it. 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. One, two. And again, you can also play this starting on beat 2, because this starts on beat 4 right before the 2-5-1, but you could also start on beat 2, it's not a 2-5-1, of the A flat 7. It starts right before, but you could also play this on beat 2 of A flat 7. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, The resolution will just be at a different place in the bar, but it works great. So let me play this on the backing track. So the first time I played it like it's written, the second time I played it later. It works great both ways. Let's go to the one above that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three, 4. So this part, I do a slide and then immediately a down again, sort of like a sweep. But you could also play. So play this D minor. That's what I would normally play. I would play before I studied this, and that's a little bit easier, I think. But this is nice too. So more options is always better. So now I have two ways to play that triplet there. You will notice this one is tricky to play, so I'll do the best I can on the backing track. Pretty cool if you can pull it off. Okay, let's go to the one above that. That's the first one on this PDF. By the way, you can download this PDF as always from my Patreon, and I have news about my Patreon. I will make a separate video explaining it, but if you made it so far, and you'll be one of the first ones to hear this, my current tiers on Patreon are closing, or are not closing, but they are limited. There's only a few spots left, so the $5 tier, I think, has maybe 13 spots left, and the $10 tier has maybe 6 spots left. When they are filled, or next week, whichever comes first, they will be closed. They will be limited to the amount of people that are in it, and you can't join those tiers anymore. And those tiers are a great deal because for $5 you get access to hundreds of pages of tab and hours of exclusive content. And the $10 tier adds even more tab and content on top of that. And it's so much actually that you get for this amount that I decided that it's time to renew the tier. So the people that are in those tiers, they will be called legacy members, and they will get, nothing will change for them. But then the new tiers are a little bit more expensive, because then the $5 tier will only give you access to the last 2 months of tab and videos, which is still a lot. And the $10 tier will give you access to the last 5 months. And then the $35 tier will give you access to everything. And the $35 now is $10. So if you want to take the Black Friday deal, let's call it that, then I would go to my Patreon today, because it will fill up, and then that will be the end of those tiers. They will never come again. So if you want to download, check out my Patreon, link in the description. So this is a pretty tricky lick to play. Let me try it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 1. So the triplet, actually it's a Charlie Parker lick. He plays with a C instead of a D, but that makes it even more difficult. And if it's in effect, so I chose to do, but it's ghost notes anyway. For some reason, it's very difficult to play this rhythmically also, especially in this tempo, but I'm gonna give it a try. Almost. That was okay, but I will demonstrate this lick later on a jazz standard, playing it on a normal 251, and it will be slower, so maybe you will hear it better then. And the last phrase is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is okay. Let's do that one more time. It's okay, but that part, you need to really articulate it. Oh, now I'm practicing, I shouldn't do that. But these licks are mostly new. I made them, I transcribed them especially new to me, I mean. I transcribed them especially for this lesson, because I just uploaded this Cherokee Beckett track and I was like, maybe I could explore some of those A-flat-7, B-flat ideas. And these licks are great, but I need to practice them as well. Maybe I'll make a video of me practicing them, because my recent video of me practicing licks is doing very well, so apparently that works. Okay, let me demonstrate some of them on like like Cherokee, and enough this on Coquette, you know, like the song in D, super slow or medium tempo. So let's do this lick first. So this is in B flat. So if I want to play this in D, I have to not think about A flat 7 to B flat, but I have to think about C7, right? So then I would start here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just gonna play this right on top of the 2-5-1. Even though it has this B flat and the chords E minor, it doesn't matter. It's a highly altered sound, and it will create a lot of tension, but it will resolve very nicely to D, and it creates a very interesting sound. So let me do that. If I can find the backing track, here it is. Here we go. It's a great sound. And the bridge I could play it again, right? Because it's 2-5-1 to G, so I have to think about F7, and then it's here. Let me do that. So I'll start over, play it in D and in G. Now all of a sudden the lick becomes very easy. Oh, this one was not that difficult. Let's go to the first one, because that was very difficult. So I have to think about C7 instead of A flat 7, and it starts on, or I think about it like it's in this position. It's the 5th position of A flat. Right, the position system that belongs to the Van Hemert fretboard visualization system. There's a link to the description in. There's a link to that video in the description if you've never heard of it. But so if I have to play this on C7, I have to go here. That's the 5th position of C7. Right, that would be for D. And the bridge goes to G. So then I have to think about F7. And then it would be here. So let's do that. Yeah, there you go. Let's do one more, just for fun. Let's do, I really like this one, the first one we're doing. This one. So, it's again in the 5th position of A flat. So play it in D, 5th position of C. And in G, 5th position of F. You can already hear that it will sound really nice. So because this starts before the bar, when you start, it's like, wow, it's happening. But the resolution is so nice that it works completely. And I also tried playing it later. Actually, the first time I played it later. And then, I mean, this kind of sound is so convincing that you can get away with the outside sound that you create in the beginning, and you can shift it in time. It all works. So start experimenting with these phrases, both on a flat 7th dominant chord, like in Cherokee, and it's really fast, but you can slow down the backing track on YouTube by clicking the cogwheel and choose for like 50% speed or 75% or even 25. And you can just play them on regular 251s. Another good track to practice it on is Tangerine, which is also on my YouTube channel. I will put a link to a playlist with all my backing tracks in the description. Again, check out my Patreon, and I will see you all in the next video this week. And of course, on Friday there will be episode 2 of Gypsy Jazz Fridays. Bye!